Hello, good morning. How are all my
eBay flippers, and Depop
hustlers? My name is Adam. This is my channel, Mr. B Flips, and we buy stuff and we sell stuff on the internet in aid to make a profit. So if you've not been to the channel before, welcome. Please remember, like, comment and subscribe. I always want to hear feedback and ideas for new videos. And yeah, today's video is how to buy clothing to sell online. I'm going to go through the top tips that I use regularly in order to buy clothing to resell. The clothing market is massive and it is one of the top selling things on eBay at any one given time throughout the year. The only thing that tends to change with clothing is the type of clothing that is bought, but everyone can sell their clothing online, from businesses like myself to just average people wanting to get rid of the stuff in their wardrobes. So it's highly sellable and it's very popular to buy, which is not always a good thing because it makes it highly competitive. But with these simple tips and tricks, you can get more sales and you can achieve better prices. Tip number one, which is a real obvious one, always have your mobile phone handy. Clothing can be a minefield, all right? And without your mobile phone to check things like sold and completed listings of a particular item, you could end up buying something that you think will sell well, but doesn't. Also, Google Lens and other websites, apps and stuff to help you identify a particular product, a particular brand, labels, whether it's vintage, whether it's modern. These tools are all valuable when you are searching for clothing. So rule number one, always have your mobile phone handy. Tip number two, always think about the future seasons that are coming up. So for example, what a lot of people have done in the past is it's winter time, so they buy winter clothing. By the time you've got enough stock for that particular season, that season's already coming to an end. What will happen is you'll end up holding on to that stock until the following winter season. So when you're in summer, when you're in spring, when you're in winter, and you see things being sold, if they're cheap enough, if they're for a season that's down the line, buy it. If you can afford to store it away until that season's come, then it's brilliant because you can get that stuff listed. You've got a nice backlog of stock to get you through the winter months. Because what you'll find is when you go to charity shops and you buy in coats, they are all sold at a little bit higher price because it's the season to sell them. So if you're buying coats in a clearance sale in the summer, they will sell nicely in the winter and you'll get them at a cheaper price. So always think ahead when you're buying your clothing. Rule number three, think outside the box when you're looking for brands. We would all like to walk into charity shops and find Calvin Klein, Ralph Lauren, Nike, and all of that sort of stuff at really cheap prices. But let's be honest, it's not always going to happen. Don't get me wrong, there are great deals to be had in some charity shops for branded items like that. But there are a lot of brands out there that sell for good money that charity shops are not too clued up on. I'll give you a little example. I buy a lot of John Smedley and I found that the charity shops around where I live don't really understand the value of that and they always price it really low, which is great for me and it gives me a great profit. That is just one example of what I'm talking about. And yeah, use your phone as research, think outside the box, buy items based on your research, and you will find that there are some brands that you have never heard of that actually sell very, very well. Number four, condition is key. Now, disclaimer, if you're buying an item that is meant to look distressed, i.e. a pair of Levi jeans or a distressed All Saints jean jacket, then that's different. But when you're buying a nice pair of Polo Ralph Lauren chinos or a nice pair of Gant trousers, always look at the condition because these items are meant to look pristine. So what I mean by that is check the hems on the trousers, check the waist, check inside that there's no spoilage or stainage inside the trousers, and you should do this on all of your items. Always assess the condition, because I find that over the years, selling items that are in a great condition rather than just a good or acceptable condition do fetch, one, better prices, and also two, less complications with a buyer who hasn't read your description properly. So what I mean by that is, you write in the description, this clothing is in a good condition, but it does have signs of wear. And then when you stipulate what signs of wear it might have a bit of bobbling, it might have a little bit of discoloration on the hem or whatever, and they buy it, 9 times out of 10, they haven't read the description properly and they want to return it because it's not in the condition they thought. So to save myself that, I'll always make sure I buy items that are in the toppest condition that I can find. Tip number 5, sizes. Now, in my experience, bigger sizes, especially for men's clothing, sell better.
My experience, bigger sizes, especially for men's clothing, sell better.
You get a better premium for them, and they seem to fly off the shelves compared to your smalls and your mediums. Now, this isn't necessarily the case for women's sizes, but what I have found out is I have sold a lot of plus size clothing for women in terms of size 18s, 20s and upwards, and that is a bit of a niche market, and if you sell that sort of stuff, it will sell very well. So always watch your sizes. You can obviously sell small items for good money too, so don't always count them out, but I find the larger the size, especially in the men's category, the better the sale and the more desire there is for that item. Tip number 6, stick with your staples. Now, staples in terms of clothing that will regularly sell well and will regularly fetch a good price. So in the beginning, sticking with your staples, following this sort of listing guide will hold you in good stead. Obviously, the more comfortable you get, the more you know about the market and what customers you actually have. You will know which direction you can go, where to take risks, etc. But in the beginning, number 1, suits. Suits always sell for good money, even some of the budget high street brands, depending on material, colour and obviously condition. So suits is a good one to pick up if you can get them cheap enough. Number 2, jeans, chinos and trousers. So depending on the make, they go for good money if you can pick them up cheap enough. So I sell continuously pairs of diesel jeans, Gant, Levi on a regular basis, and I always fetch quick, easy money. Number 3, coats and jackets. Now, you might not come across a full suit, you might just get the blazer, but if it's a good brand and you've done your research, blazers will always fetch good money. Even blazers that are not a particular high-end brand can sometimes fetch quite a lot compared to what you've paid. So always look out for coats and jackets, and make sure you look out for these items throughout the whole year, because they may not sell a lot during the summer months, but they will sell during the winter months. Number 4 is hoodies and jumpers. They always sell well, and I find, funnily enough, they sell throughout the year. Whether you're in Scotland or you're in a cold part of the world, or you just like to wear it on a night out, they all seem to go quite well. Obviously, sales for those items pick up quite considerably during the winter months, but they're a good all-round seller. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope the content was useful, and yeah, please drop me a comment, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, tell your friends, share me about, and I'll be back hopefully tomorrow with another video for you, and yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys soon. Alright, take care.